So we got episode number 14. We've made it to 14 episodes of the Grounded Theory podcast. Got my guy Cyrus in front of me, man. So let's start out. Give us the bio. Who you are, what you do, where you've been. Tell the people who you are.
Bless love. My name is Cyrus Alexander from St. Louis, Missouri. Currently, right now, I am on a journey to still finding myself, but what helps me find myself is helping people with their health. So I sell cold-pressed fruit juices right now, sea moss and herbs. I just recently got into this about a year and a half ago, 2 years when I went plant-based. But before that, I was strictly basketball. Ball was life for real. That was all I thought about. That's all I thought I was. And it was very limiting in a way. Like my mom always tell me, like, you're a leader, you're this. You don't have to just be basketball all the time. No, I'm like, no, like, that's just me. Like, as basketball players, we just put ourselves in that space. Like, so that was me. But after learning myself more, like I said, transitioning to a different lifestyle, I'm like, I can be whatever I want to be at this point. So it's freeing. I'm free now type thing.
It's a good-ass feeling.
It is, especially for me and how I grew up. Like,
scoot the mic a little bit closer.
Good.
A little bit more.
Testing.
Yeah,
right.
There you go. Yeah, it's freeing, bro, to like realize what you were put on the earth to do, more or less.
Yeah.
So I want to dive into that a lot. That'll be kind of like the majority of the pod, I think.
Yeah.
A lot of this is kind of free flowing. But let's start out with the hoop journey.
Okay.
So let's start out with the V, Vashon basketball, man. 4 years at the V.
2 years.
2 years.
I was at Whitfield at first.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I forget about that sometimes too. That was like a whole different world, literally.
So you were with probably one of the best teams in Whitfield history.
Yeah, with Torrance and all them,
Luther.
Yeah.
Stuco.
Yeah. My God, I still talk to him today.
Do you?
Yeah.
I know he's doing stuff at Larry Hughes.
Yeah, training. Just like, yep. Yeah, Luther on his own type of time. Torrance still hooping and all that. So, yeah, but that, I feel like a lifetime ago, man.
That's crazy. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. I was there for 6 years because it's a middle school and a high school. I think they start off at 7th grade and then into senior year. So I was there from, 7th to sophomore year. So I was there for a while.
Okay. So then what made the switch? Man. Like what went into it? On the court, off the court?
Basketball, man.
Got you.
So Mike Posse was the coach at the time, and I did not like him, like, at all. Like, I love him now, but when I was going through with him, like, like, I felt like I chose the wrong school basketball-wise. So from my point of view, like, I played for Machine Elite in middle school and all that. It was me, Keon Batchman, Jeremy Shaw. Like, we were, if not the best team in St. Louis, like, beating everybody. Ramey, Wildcats, Eagles at the time when they were called the Eagles before switching to Bradley Bill. Like, and they were traveling the country and all that, and we, like, beating them. So I'm just, like, looking at my peers and all that. I'm like one of the best in the city, really, at the time. So going into Whitfield, even when middle school basketball and all that, I was killing. Like, nobody could guard me at that point in time. Like, I was just that good. I don't toot my horn up, but 8th grade Cyrus was like that type of thing.
Problem.
Really, yeah. But then I got to Whitfield, 9th grade. Coach Foster, that bench right there, know that bench. And I'm like, what? I'm this, that. I'm like, who my age is doing what I'm doing in St. Louis? Like, why am I on the bench type thing? But I understood where he was coming from, like having Torrance, and we had other seniors that like put in the work over the years and like they earned that. But me coming in young, I'm like, forget all that. I'm trying to hoop. Like, I can hoop. Like, let me get in. Like, and even when I was getting in, it was just like feed the ball to the best player type thing, or you just strictly going in for defense. So that was way different than what I was used to. So that's why I ended up leaving, because I'm like, it was messed up my confidence. I had broke my wrist, so I had to sit out for a few months. So me like sitting on the sidelines, just like, bro, like if I would be at any other high school, I feel like I'm starting, like even as a freshman, like I feel like I was that good at the time. So that's why I ended up leaving my sophomore year, because like I think it was a picture, we had won districts, and we went to state. I went to state both those years, by the way, too. My freshman and sophomore year.
That's right. Yeah.
And we had won districts at John Burroughs my sophomore year. And I remember everybody in the picture was like smiling, like we just won districts. I'm like about to break down in this picture. Like, cause I remember getting there for like 30 seconds. Like I had did something, I messed up or something. Right back out. And I think that was like the first time I had gotten in the game. So I was like pissed, like just confidence was just way down. So after that, like my mom saw how it was affecting me and my confidence on it. She was like, we got to choose a different school. So that is why I went to Vashon, because of basketball. But academics and all that, no, school has always come easy to me. And like with a private school and all that, like I didn't have no problem academic wise. It was strictly basketball, really.
Strictly basketball. So then, well, first of all, I think that's such a weird, just an interesting dynamic between a coach and a player. Because like some players, they need to be out there for 6, 8, 10 minutes, just to like get a rhythm and get a feel for the game, and then they can kind of like make an impact.
Yeah.
So like the attributes go up for some players at like minute 10.
Yeah.
But as a coach, it's hard because like I can't have you out there for 6 minutes just BSing, you know?
Yeah.
So I've always thought that's kind of interesting. So I didn't know that you went to state both years. I forgot that was the case. So 2 years.
Back to back, yeah. We went, I think my freshman year we got 3rd place, and then my sophomore year we got 2nd place.
Lost in the chip.
Yep, to Northwest.
Okay, nice. So then move over to the V. Let's talk about that, man. I'm very interested to hear this.
Man, looking back on my life, I had a lot of balance. Like I was dropping public school, private school, public school. Like I started off in public. Like I said, school was just easy for me. So my mom put me in a private school. Then I went back to public. So a lot of balance. So it wasn't really a culture shock going to Vashon, but it was like, okay, this is how we're going to do it here. Like, I don't want to make it seem like Vashon is like that bad, because it's a public school at the end of the day, and we all know how public schools are, especially in St. Louis City. But it was definitely like at Whitfield, it was a lot more strict when it came to like academics and like just being in the classroom, paying attention type thing. Like at Vashon, I didn't have to try at all, like to get an A. Like I could skip class and not even know what we talked about, just like know the topic, and I could still get an A on whatever assignment it was. Like it was just that easy academic wise. But basketball, way different. The workouts, the hill workouts and the Vertimax and the weight room, that was way different. So it was like, it was a reverse to where basketball, I wasn't getting the time and all that and the effort, but then academically it was hard. But then reverse Vashon, academically it was easy, but then the basketball was like, oh no, you in one of the top high schools in the country now. So it's a way different ball game you got to play now. So that was, like I said, it was a lot of balance in my life. So I'm glad that I went through that. We have Vashon out. And I kind of do wish I had went to Vashon my freshman year versus my junior year. I feel like my basketball career would have played out a lot differently if I would have known about Vashon, because I didn't. I always used to play at Vashon as like a middle school child and all that, but I didn't know like this is Vashon type thing. So in making the decision to go to my high school, Vashon wasn't even in the equation with Whitfield. I think it was like Whitfield and Chaminade. Those like, or Crossroads, something like that. But if I had known about Vashon as an 8th grader, I would have went to Vashon my freshman year for sure.
So take me through. I've heard stories. I'm sure other people have. The practices at Vashon. Take me through as much detail as you can give, like the drills, the culture, what's it like there? How long do we practice for?
We practice for as long as we want to practice. That's from like a coach perspective. Like however much y'all put in, determine what time y'all leave type thing.
Okay.
But to start off practice, first thing we doing after stretching, we did a group stretch and all that. First thing we doing is defensive slides. That's the first drill we're doing, full court. So we start in the corner on the baseline, go to free throw line, turn, go to half court, turn, free throw line, and then we do it all over again. So we do that like twice. That's when then we go very slow the first one, then pick up the pace. So Vashon is very defense oriented. So that's the start off, the defense. Then we might go into full court 1-on-1 from the baseline. So it's very defense oriented for sure. And then we might move into, after the 1-on-1, we're going to move into 4v4 or 5-on-5 half court. Then we do shooting drills last. Shooting is pretty much last. But for the bulk of practice is defense, and then learning plays, and then shooting. Shooting is probably the last thing we do. But defense. We sit down at Vashon for sure.
Hell yeah. And so practices could be 3, 4, 5 hours, maybe not 5.
Not 5, but definitely they can get to 3 for sure. Like It was one of the buses came at like 5:30, and if you like me, I didn't have a car at the time, so like sometimes I had to leave at 5:30. But that didn't mean practice was over at 5:30. Practice could have ended at 5:30, could have ended at 6. Like I said, it just depended on the effort our coach thought we was putting in at the time, and if we like deserved for practice to be over with, which is good. I like coaches when they like, no, we got to end off on a good note. Like, can't be half going and then expect practice to be over with. So we always had to finish strong, and we had to start strong and then finish strong for sure.
So talk about the culture there. You kind of already alluded to it, like defense, toughness, 3 hours. Is it like as a coach, am I trying to understand where you're coming from, what you're seeing on the play, and then trying to like find some common ground? Or is it, I'm the coach, this is what you do because I say that you do that?
I think it's both. Because to go about the culture, I said defense, but winning. Like
facts.
Winning. It don't matter how, I don't care if you're a senior, I don't care if you're a freshman. If that freshman can play better in this situation, you a senior and go sit down. Like, we're winning. Like, that's the main goal. But like I said, we could come to him and express certain things, but at the end of the day, if he wanted to see it or go implement it, it was up to him. So it wasn't always, no, this is my way or the highway. But in certain situations, I don't care what you got to say. This is because he has the blueprint. So it's like, yeah, you can give your insight, but it's like, I've been doing this for 10 years. So you can only say so much that I haven't already experienced. So yeah, winning for sure. And I remember we had a conversation whenever I was a senior. He was like, I think we was like being lackadaisical in practice. I mean, we at state, mind you, and we just being lackadaisical, something like that. And he was like, if y'all don't play for this year, we're gonna play for next year. Like, y'all need to get on y'all stuff unless we're gonna start like looking at somebody else to how we can be like focus on summer type things. If y'all seniors don't want to get your act together, if y'all don't really want to win a state, then we're gonna think about the next year and the juniors and the sophomores and develop them. So like I said, winning, but then if you're not with the program, like, we can go a different route. But if we can do that together, but if you're not with it, like I said, I got the blueprint. I don't need you type thing. But it's not, and I know that now, but in the moment it's like, dang, that's messed up type thing. But it's like, no, like, I'm trying to win. Like, and I want to see you win as your coach, but you gotta want it too. And if you don't want it, I'm gonna go to the next person that want it. So simple. So, fruit of the labors, you have 2 rings, or what do you? One. We lost to St. Mary's my junior year in sectionals or something. I think if we would have beat them, we would have played Sykeston, and then we would have went to state.
That's right.
So yeah, we lost to St. Mary's my junior year, but then I got 1. But I've been to state 3 times, but got 1 ring. One first place ring, yeah.
I forgot about that. The very last episode I did was with Cole Miller. He went to St. Mary first 3 years and then went to Ladue. But he was on that team. Again, probably one of the best teams in St. Mary's history.
Yeah, Yuri.
Yahuza.
Man.
Dominic Mitchell.
Yeah.
That was...
I think, was Fred there? I think that, not Fred, but he was in Torrance's grade. I forgot his name. I think he goes to College of Columbia now.
He went to St. Mary's?
Yeah. I think he was a senior with Yahuza. Like 6'2" guard, like I forgot his name, but yeah.
Lavelle? Harris?
No, they had him too, but there was another one.
Okay.
Because they were all pretty much seniors. Yuri was like the only one in my grade, like getting clock at the time. Everybody else was seniors though.
That's right.
And yeah, when they beat us, like the way our locker rooms were set up, we could hear everything in there. Like if they were speaking like on this level, we could hear them. They banging on stuff, just like rubbing it in our faces, like not current at all. And I remember Coach Orange was like, y'all hear that? Like, y'all need to remember that. Like, they acting like they just won the championship because, like, we Vashon. So when people beat us, it's like, it's a big thing. But then not only that, this to go to a state type thing. So it was definitely a big deal for them. And, yeah, just hearing them, it's like, dang, y'all going to do us like that. Like, they was not caring at all. Like I said, they probably doing it on purpose, but it's like they moving on to the next game. But they did not care. Beating on everything. He was like, remember this next year. And then next year we won state.
So we played each other our junior year at Merrimack.
Yeah.
That was the game of the dunk. The dunk heard around the world.
Yeah, that was a crazy game. Crazy game. It was fun though.
Yeah. So let's talk about the dunk for a minute.
Hey, why does everybody ask me about this dunk, man?
Because I know it from our perspective. I want to hear it from Vashon's perspective, the bench perspective.
Yeah. I mean, Mario got bounced. I mean, I thought he was going to, beat. I never saw Courtney dunk like that. Not to say it was like the most spectacular dunk in the world, but like you just don't see Courtney dunk that often. He more like get to his bag, threes, pull up, mid range. You know what I'm saying? So when he done, I'm like. Like I didn't see Mario block 6'8" people dunk, so I'm like, that ain't nothing. And then he dunked on him, and I was like, oh shoot, like what? And then the way it happened, I think it was like at the end of the quarter,
very end of the half,
and then you got Carribean coming in, running over Mario, like so. It was in the moment, it was too much going on to focus on what actually happened. Because like I said, I think they had like broken us up. Because like I said, Cartier he came and like bumped Mario or something like that and tried to play it off. We like went back and forth for a little bit. So it was a lot going on. But looking back on it, like in the locker room, I was like, did that really just happen? Like, did he just dunk on Mario? Like, Courtney just dunked on Mario type thing. But like in the moment, it was like it's just too much was going on at the time, just too into the game type thing. But the crowd reaction on it, like crazy. Like sometimes I go back and watch high school videos, and when I go to that game, I'm like, dang, like it was packed. It was a lot of people there, a lot of people for a high school game. It was a lot of people,
bro. Because that was at the time. That was two like. I'm trying to think back, but that had to have been like the best two teams in St. Louis.
Yeah. I'll say us two, and then Hazelwood Central. I think, or did we play them? No, that was junior year. I think Hazelwood Central. I'd say that was the best three teams at the time for sure.
Yeah. So, 2 years at Whitfield, 2 years at the V. Experience, challenging academics, decently challenging hoops, and then the opposite at the V. At what point, so first of all, before we get there, was college like always on your radar, like always a goal of yours to hoop in college?
Yeah, I didn't want to go because school, I wanted to go to basketball, but like after I'm like, bro, I'm tired of school. Like, it's just, like I said, it was always easy for me, but it's like, I just don't want to, like I knew what to do to get a B type. Like that's how much I didn't like going to, like doing work. I was like, okay, I know exactly, like I need to get this question, that question, but I can not answer, like I'll purposely not answer questions because I know that I'll get the other ones right type thing. So yeah, college was always on my radar. Like I said, I didn't want to go, but like I said, wanting to get to the next level and provide for my family, I just knew that it was a step I had to take.
So then what goes, because college is a weird, like, not weird, but there's just a lot that goes into it. There's money involved. There's location, how far you're willing to travel, on not even to mention hoops, like what situation is the best for me. So what like factors, I guess, did you value? And then what went into your decision to choose William Penn?
Really, truthfully, lack of options. That was one of my only options for real. They was telling me like I could have went to Harris Stowe, but I'm like, that's in St. Louis. Like they not that good of a team. Like that would have been the easy route going to Harris Stowe, fresh out of going to Vashon. But I was like, like I said, they just wasn't that good, and like I didn't want to go to a school like that at the time. So I could have done that, but no, it was really, like I said, just lack of options. Like they was like, I forgot how it specifically went down, but the fact they had interest in me and all that, and I went up there, did like an open gym, hooped with some of the players there. I'm like, oh, they good. Like they had a good history of winning. Like they had a lot of championships and all that. So I'm like, they can actually hoop. And I didn't know a lot about NAI as well. That was my first time ever getting introduced to NAI. I thought it was only D1, D2, D3. So when they explained the NAIAs and like people come from JUCOs, people come from D1s, like it's a melting pot of like anybody. Like anybody could be at an NAI. You could have been, like I said, a nice D1, or you could have been at a horrible D2, and you could still play and be a good player. Like I feel like NAI is just like I said, they might not have the grades, but they got game if you ain't NAI. So it was good though. But yeah, just one of my only options. So I just took it. I'm like, it's the next step. I gotta keep going up. So why not?
So I guess you said you wanted to hoop.
Yeah.
Because I would think that since like school wasn't really like the move for you, like you weren't really feeling it. I would think that to then go move to however many hours away that is, 4.5
in Iowa.
That's kind of like a bit, and Iowa, so it's probably like cornfields and a Walmart.
Oskaloosa, that's the name of the city.
Oskaloosa.
Like, yes, like
okay,
nobody's there. Like type people that like never leave the city. Like they don't go nowhere else. They born in that city and they die in that city type thing. Like so, it was very small. Everything was on one street, like Walmart, Subway, all the stores, like that type of city where like it's all on one street, like, and that's it. And everything else like cornfields and houses. That's it. And
is that your type of vibe, or is it not really? But you can kind of deal with it. What is it?
Looking back on it, it kind of was my vibe because I was never I say I'm an extroverted introvert. So the fact that it was like nothing to do in town was like a good thing. But then like as far as going to parties and all that, I just didn't do because I didn't know nobody there really, and I just didn't feel comfortable. So the fact that it was nothing to do there was good for me because I like doing nothing. But sometimes I like I said, sometimes I'll be like, I need to get out my shell and interact with people. So yeah, it was my vibe looking back. But at the time, I'm like, nah, like I don't want to be here. I'm just trying to hoop. Like this, all I want to do is hoop in my life. Like I said, I'm just a hooper at this point. So this is just what I'm here to do.
That's a very interesting point. We might have to circle back once we talk about the real stuff. So then talk about the adjustment going from high school to college. What was challenging? What were some things that Vashon maybe like prepared you for? But what would you say like the biggest differences are?
I would say differences is the workouts. And then, like I said, even at Vashon, we did some hard workouts, but nothing prepared me for them college workouts. Getting up at 5, 6 a.m., having to run up hills with tires over your head, like, or run a mile at 6 a.m., like this preseason stuff, like, y'all tripping. But that definitely was the biggest thing was the workouts, man. Or like, we went on the track and had to like carry people on our backs, like military type stuff. I'm like, bro, like for basketball, like what is y'all on? But like it was a very good school, like basketball, and even academic wise, but basketball wise, like it was some of the Vashon. They had a history of winning, good players, good coaches, and all that. So, like I said, but I don't think basketball can prepare you for college. It's different work ethic type thing. Like these people are like trying to get jobs and go overseas, so the work you got to put in is different. Even though, like I said, I was putting in the work high school, but that basketball stuff was way different. But things I liked about college is the classes. Not having to go to class 8 hours a day. I only got class for 3 hours a day, and then the rest of the day I can do whatever. Like I'm chilling. Like I didn't know that about college. I thought college was the exact same as high school. 8 hours a day. You eat, go to practice at the end of the day. But no, I got 5 hours to do anything. I can do homework. I can go to sleep. I can go to the store. That part I really, really enjoyed. Cause like I said, my alone time and like just being to myself, quietness and all that, I definitely enjoyed that in college for sure.
I remember I was taking like 3-hour naps. Man. Just because I didn't like have anything to do.
You know? Like I'm just chilling in bed. I'm doing homework early. Like in high school, I would do homework at like 2 a.m. But there, I would do homework at like 10 a.m. because I had nothing else to do. And then the rest of the day is like, I really don't got nothing to do because I already did my homework. I already went to practice and all that. Oh yeah, in practice, let me talk about that. So I was supposed to be on the varsity team for William Penn. But it was one day we had they were testing us during the preseason type thing to see like who they want on varsity. So we had varsity, varsity reserve, and then JV. So it was one day we got up at 5 and we had to run a mile in a certain amount of time. And I'm not a person that is good whenever they first get up at 6 a.m. Like I'm still asleep. I'm still in the bed mentally. So like I think it took me like 8 minutes to do a mile. Like I'm like dying. Like I think people afterwards was like, do you smoke or something? I'm like, no, I don't smoke. They're like, why was you dying? And I'm like, cause it's 5 o'clock. It's 5 a.m. Like who is up at this time working out? Like not me. Even in Vashon, like I did sometimes, but it was basketball. It wasn't long distance. And I'm a sprinter anyway. I'm not long distance. So the varsity coach was there. He was like, he put me to the side when I was dying on the ground after my 8-minute mile. And he was like, we can't have varsity players, not making the time and all that. So I'm thinking, well, just based off that conversation, that was why I didn't make it to varsity. And then you even to play basketball period there, you still had to make the mile time, which was like 6:30 for the mile. So the next day I did it in like 6:10. They're like, how the hell did you go from 8 minutes to 6? I'm like, because when I did it at 6 minutes, it was 3 p.m. and I was actually up. Like it wasn't a test of like my ability. It was just the timing. Like I'm not a person that does well. At the time, I wasn't a person that does well that early in the day. So what I ended up doing was I would still practice with varsity, and then I would practice with varsity reserve, and that's who I played with, like had games with. So we played like JUCOs and all that, community colleges. So I would I would have 2 practices every day for a year. And when I say I was in the best shape of my life, like the best shape of my life, because varsity practice was already hard. That's like 2.5 hours lifting at 10 and all that. And then right afterwards, I got practice with varsity reserve for another 2-3 hours. So I was very much in shape at William Penn. So I was kind of pissed that I didn't make it to varsity, because it was like, there's people on the team that was in my grade. I'm like, I'm better than him. But the mile time, really off of mile time, like, come on now.
I was going to say, so regardless of varsity reserve, JV, regardless, to play basketball, you said you have to be 6:30.
6:30. And if you don't, you can't hoop. And it don't matter. You can't hoop, period. Like that's just a rule that they got there. So like I said, the next day I had to do it again, and I did it. And it was like, how did you do it? I'm like, the time. Like it was just too early. But yeah, you got to make it at 6:30.
That's so whack, bro.
Yeah. And like I'm hooping with them, like the varsity players, and these, mind you, like I said, NAIAs, these is guys that's like, I'm 18 at the time. There's people that's 25, 23, like grown men. But like I'm hooping with them because like I was good, but they like, I don't know why you're not on the team. Like just talking to the the players know, like, you should be on varsity type thing. I'm like, I know, like, but just not really complaining about my situation. Just, I know I'm still here to work and all that. So, like, so I'm doing good in practice. Granted, this is practice, but like, I can still play at this level. So I was definitely, probably the best on varsity reserve, and I was a freshman, and that had juniors and seniors too, because it's kind of like high school to where you got to try out. So like during preseason, it was probably like 50 people that tried out, and these is like from my age to 23. So even if you're not that good, you still get on a team just based off of situation, and they need players type thing. So I was probably the youngest person on the team. Everybody else was like sophomores, juniors, and seniors about to be graduating that year. So it was interesting though. But I don't really complain in the moment when I go through things. I'm just like, I just gotta do what I gotta do. I've always been that type of person to just keep going. It'll work out.
And that's a great quality to have. Like, that's a testament to mental toughness, just overall, like, your outlook on life. Because a lot of people would be complaining about this situation, and I'm a similar way. Like, if there's a situation that's like less than ideal, even if it's like sitting in traffic, whatever it is, it's like, well, being pissed about it isn't going to make the cars go faster, So like, I might as well just be chill,
Man, the fact that you said that, like, most people don't, like, they think complaining will like make it better. Like, I think people actually think that, or
it's probably just a habit.
Yeah, and I was saying, some people just like complaining. Some people like listening to themselves and all that.
Yeah,
and you kind of get caught in that. Like, if you're always in that vibration, then that's just what you're gonna be. But no, like, same as you, like, that won't help my situation. Crying about it won't help. Complaining about it won't help. So I might as well just do what I gotta do.
So then that was your freshman year.
Yeah,
and then March of that year was probably not predictable after your freshman year. So let's go take us through, I guess, from the end of your freshman season to next year, because I'm not sure where you went after that.
I went to JUCO, North Arkansas College in Harrison, Arkansas. So I went JUCO afterwards.
Okay. Oh, Chris Hill.
Yeah.
It's my guy.
Man, me and Chris bump heads a lot. A lot, man. He's doing this thing right now, but yeah, 2 years with him, man, bump heads a lot. Yeah, I went there with him. It was fun though. It was another small city, Harrison, Arkansas. Everything on one road, nothing else to do. Everybody know each other, type thing. So literally the same exact city as where I was in at William Penn. But then it was JUCO, so I played a lot, got a lot, went to school for free, played a lot, like I said. It was cool. I had a good time, very good time. It wasn't as serious as William Penn was, because it was the D2. I'm pretty sure if I went to a D1, I wouldn't have probably not had as laid back as I did. But like, we still did work and all that, like as far as practices and preseason. But overall experience, it was way easier than,
like, workout wise.
I'll say not workout wise, but just the
time commitment.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk about JUCO, like your experience. Because there's a lot of, like, the dynamic is interesting, because like in a lot of situations you're kind of like, you're there so that you can leave. Like, it's an audition for a D3 or a D2, whatever it is.
Yep.
And then some schools, it's like everyone's trying to get theirs because they want the film and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So talk about that dynamic of JUCO basketball. Is it like team basketball, camaraderie on and off the court? Like, what are we talking about?
Where I went at, I wouldn't say no. The coach I had, he was kind of similar to Whitfield in my experience. Like, feed the ball to one player, he'd go to guy type thing. Everybody else just role players. So it was kind of that same dynamic for real. But as far as the players in the community, I'll say JUCO players are a lot closer. Like I said, the time I had in JUCO, like off the court, like chilling and hanging with my teammates was like, I'll never forget those times. Like just having a fun time. Like if coach tripping or something like that, like you got to certain people that you look at, like laughing at, like the friendships I made in JUCO was like actually special type thing. So that was different. But as far as hooping and all that, no, it wasn't no like team type thing. It was like my way or the highway type thing for from the JUCO I went to. That's how it was.
So is that where you graduated from, or where did you go from there?
I graduated from there. I went there 2 years, and then the hairstyle, and then ended up leaving hairstyle.
What's your degree?
Business management, associates, and then I was going for a bachelor's, and then cut that off.
Okay, so you went to hairstyle for a grad year?
No, for my bachelor's. I only got my associates because I was at JUCO.
Heard you. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So talk about hairstyle, that whole, because that was kind of like a transition in your life. Talk about your 3 months there, 4 months.
Yeah, it was not long ago. Even academic wise, I was like, I'm getting up out of here. So I got there, like I said, getting with the team, meeting my teammates, getting to know the coach and staff and all that. And we hit the practice or preseason practice, and we running. And I'm just like, I'm not there. Like my body is like, like you tripping. So I'm like, I'm dying in practice. I think it was the first day. The first or second day, I'm dying. And then, like I said, we did 5-on-5 after that. I couldn't even do the 5-on-5 because I was that tired. And then it was like a realization of like, what have I been doing the whole summer? And like I said, I've been on a whole different type of time. I've been in the books, reading, studying, like just not caring about basketball. Like basketball is the furthest thing from my mind that whole summer before going to hairstyle. Then like I had the conversation with the coach, and I was like, I got a new passion, coach. Like basketball, I never really enjoyed playing basketball. I just I did it like to help my mom in the situation. So when I found something else that I was passionate about, it was easy. And like I said, my scope of the world changed when I got to the health information. Originally I wouldn't have seen you as a family or someone I can help. But when I got the health information, I'm like, oh no, I can help him. I can help anybody. I can help the whole world if I really choose to. So it was easy. I was like, I'm done with basketball. Now I'm finna pick up a book and educate people.
So so we had the meeting with coach, said, all right, it's time for like a new chapter in my life, more or less. So talk about what you mentioned, the books, the health stuff. Talk about what it is, how you found it, how you discovered it, just what it is. Yeah.
So was it 22 or 23? No, we're in 24 now. I think it was either year 21 or 22. My grandfather had passed due to COVID. And I was just like, it's gotta be a way that we can, like, I know, like something, like some things I just know intuitively, like I don't have to know things. And that was one of the moments where like, there's a way that we can heal ourselves from diseases, or like not ever get disease or never be sick. Like I just know that we didn't come here to struggle. Like, and I truly meant that. And I asked for it. And like I said, like a week or two later, YouTube pop up. Guy named Dr. Sabi. I don't know if you heard of him. He was like, I can cure any disease. He was like, cancer? He's like, yep. AIDS? Yep. Like, that's easy. Like, I can do that. I'm like, didn't I just ask for this like a week ago? Like, that's weird, but I just watched it. And after watching that video, all I did was watch videos. All I did was watch and watch. And then TikTok was big at the time, and people were talking about TikTok and health and the government and this. And I'm like, what? Like, so like I was literally addicted to learning about health. Like I said, that's all I did. I didn't work out. Like I said, that whole summer, I didn't touch a basketball. Didn't want to touch a basketball. It was the furthest thing on my mind. It was just like, no, this is what I need to be doing. And I was genuinely like, I liked learning about the body and about fruits and vegetables, and this is good for you and that's good for you. But it got to a point to where like it was certain days I would have to like stop, like just turn off my phone, like too much coming in and not enough applying. Yeah, it was just too much going on in my brain. Because you can only, if you're not applying what you're learning, you're not really like, you didn't really learn it, or like, you know what I'm saying? So it was times where, like I said, I had to just turn off the phone and like just chill, because it's too much information in my brain right now, and I'm not applying it. So it's just coming in, it's not going out. So that's how I got the health information out of it. I asked for it and it came to me, and then I've just been running with it ever since then.
That's a good point about taking in information, but also you have to go apply it.
Yes.
Second reference to the previous episode with Cole, we were talking about books and reading, and he was talking about, I guess, a tweet or something that he saw that was talking about like, if you're not applying what you read, you're just watching Netflix. I think that's super important because it's easy. I mean, the apps are like designed to keep you addicted to scrolling. So it's easy to just sit there and keep on scrolling and keep on, and like, oh, I need this information, but to actually go apply it. So I bet in the early stages of coming across all that information, I'm curious how applying it looks. Because again, you're kind of new to it, still working with it. How do you go about applying what you're learning?
The first thing was eating.
Changing the way you eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
First, when I was in college, I was dabbling with going plant-based. I do like 30 days plant-based, trying new things. It was not good. Like my first few times going plant-based or just attempting it, like, was not good. I couldn't really cook at the time. The things I was making just wasn't tasting that good. But I'm like, it's good for me, so I'm still doing it, even though it wasn't tasting the best at the time. So that was the first thing I did, was I changed the way I ate. Like I did 30 days plant-based, and then after that, I completely cut out meat, and I was pescatarian, so I was doing fish and cheese still. I did that for like a few months. Then I was vegetarian, where I only did cheese, no fish, no meat like that. And then I finally, on my birthday, I went fully plant-based. So the first thing was eating for me, for sure. And then whenever I noticed, whenever I started eating better, my mental changed. I won't be too much TMI, but as a guy, and how I was raised, sex was always on my mind, like always, like in class, practice, it didn't matter at the time. It was on my mind. But when I started eating better, it was it was not in the front of my mind. I'm like, whoa, like that's new. Like I'm not thinking about that all the time now. Like that was the first thing I noticed. And that really showed me that everything starts mentally, and then your body will follow. So like I didn't crave it no more. I didn't really want it like that anymore. So it started with the eating, and then I got into like meditation. So I started doing that, like just 5 minutes every day type thing. And then that wasn't enough. So I had to do 9 minutes and then 15 minutes and all that. So I'm like, I like meditating, like, because I'm a Virgo, so I can overthink. So the meditation really helped me with quieting my mind and not thinking 1,000 things at one time. So it was definitely food, then meditation. Then after that was reading more books. And because at first I was just on the health bit. Then the health opened me up to like spirituality and the meditation and all that. So first I was just strictly on health. Then I got more books on, like I said, spirituality, ancient civilizations and stuff like that. So it was definitely a domino effect. But it all started with the eating. And then ground. That's why I like that you do grounded, because I ground a lot.
Barefoot in the grass?
Yes.
Yep. Got to.
I love it.
Essential.
I love it, man. I remember my first time doing it, I'm like, I just felt charged up. Like I would do it for like 20 minutes and all. I'm like, dang, I felt good. So just doing, I think I chose a lot of good things, because I feel like a lot of times we might try new things and we might not see results. But with me, I was like actually seeing the results with the things that I was doing. But not even initially with the plant-based. Well, as far as taste, but like how my body felt and all that. Like I said, with workouts, I was cool. Like I'm not getting tired no more when I was working out and still doing the plant-based things. So I chose a lot of good things that like I could implement and actually were serving a purpose for me at the time.
And that sounds like it was all very gradual in terms of applying it. In my mind, how I view what everything you just said was like one thing kind of leads to the next. Cause like we started out, you were talking about eating, and then you mentioned Virgo, which is like star seed, or what's it called? What is it called?
Me as a Virgo?
No, like the whole thing.
My zodiac.
Zodiac. Okay.
Yeah.
Zodiac signs, meditating.
Yeah.
So it seems like one thing kind of led to another. It was all very gradual. You said you went from 5 minutes to 9 minutes to 15. Would you say that's accurate in terms of like applying things like 0 to 20 to 40 to 60 type thing?
Yes. I don't think if I wouldn't have gradually went plant-based, I probably still wouldn't be plant-based right now, because before I went plant-based, I was eating everything. Like, I have a very fast metabolism, like McDonald's. I'm eating 4 times a day. Like, I would eat and get full and be hungry like the next 30 minutes. And I'm eating everything in the kitchen. So for me to just cut all that out at one time and just strictly do that, it wouldn't have been good for me. Now, some people can probably go cold turkey. A lot of us can't, though, because we have to break. I say it take like 21 days to break a habit, something like that. So definitely implementing things. And just, I think a lot of people say that you shouldn't remove things, you should add them. So like with me going plant-based, I could have still been eating meat and all that and just add the plant-based things in, and it would have eventually kicked out the meat and all that. So I do think that implementing things slowly is the best way to go, because it's very hard to break a habit.
I've heard something along those lines in terms of like a counter argument to veganism, not necessarily a counter argument, but I've heard people talk about how like it's not so much that like vegan is like the holy grail. It's more so you're just making a concerted effort to eat more fruits and vegetables instead of the McDonald's and stuff. But I think all of that, like the diet stuff, like it's not like this or that. It's like not a one size fits all thing. Yes. I mean, cause you're living proof. You went from McDonald's and all that, to, you said pescatarian and then vegetarian and now vegan. So you've kind of like tried all these things and then it sounds like vegan is just what resonates with you. Yeah.
And it's like my body, like I can just tell the difference in my body. And like I said, my mental, and it's all connected. Like, when you're eating, whatever you put into your body, like how they say you are what you eat, you are that. But I think when they say that, it's more so physical, but what I'm coming from is more of like a vibrational or a mental aspect. So animals are only concerned with 3 things: safety, sex, and food. And that's all I was concerned with whenever I was eating meat. Sex, like I said, all I wanted was sex. Food, because I ate 4 or 5 times a day. And safety, like being in the house and all that. So with me eating that, I was acting like what I was eating. Like when they say act like a chicken head, if you eat chickens, like, or even like sometimes people ask me, they're like, why am I depressed? Why do I have like bad thoughts and all that? I'm like, well, how do you think the cow felt before it died? Do you think the cow knew it was going to die? Like, do you don't think animals talking like, oh, when you go over there, like you're not coming back out of there? Like animals have emotions, they cry, they can laugh. Like we don't understand it, but if we could talk to an animal, then we would better understand them. So was the cow upset before it died? Was the pig upset? Was it screaming? Did it know it was going to die? So when you eat that, you're going to feel like that. Energy doesn't die. It just transfers. So that all that fear and anger and all that, when you eat that, you're going to become that. And I can only speak from personal experience. Like I said, I was like that. And the moment I stopped eating those things, I wasn't like that anymore. When you eat things with life and things that, when you don't eat dead things, you won't feel dead. You'll feel more vibrational and more healthy. So that's how I am.
I agree with some of that. That's why I've a while ago, but that's the appeal to me for like chicken and eggs, like the free range, grass fed type stuff.
Way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Like, cause like I said, if we could talk to animals, you would never eat an animal. If you were out in the wild, you'd be like, "Hey, I'm about to kill you," and that cow begged for his life. Be like, "I got a child, I got a wife, all that." You wouldn't kill it because like we have emotions and all that, but we don't. We think because we're human and we're so smart that like the animal's like, "Yeah, I can eat them. It's whatever." But like I said, if you could talk to the animal, you probably would not eat that animal because like we still care to a certain extent. So like I said, if you're doing that, or like with the free range and all that, a chicken that has a acre of land versus a few inches of land to wiggle around and all that is going to be way better for you. So like you said, vegan isn't a one size fits all. It's plenty of people that eat flesh and are still healthy, but it's the quality type thing. Like I said, the free range versus back to back and all that. Or did they know that they were going to die before they died, or did they gracefully kill them? So it's like it's the energy and the environment they were in, and then it will reflect on you. So yeah, you can eat all that and still be healthy. It's just certain people can't afford to eat like the organics or the free range and all that, so they might choose a different avenue.
It's definitely more convenient and cheaper probably to do the less healthy thing or whatever. But
and why is that? We gotta dig into that. When we was talking about them rabbit holes, like why can $5 at McDonald's give me a meal, but $5 with fruit is like 5 blueberries, like
yeah.
But what takes more to make the blueberry that you can get 1,000 blueberries from one seed, or 1,000 cows in one shack? So it's like it doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes perfect sense when you know how the government works and what they're trying to do, but it doesn't make sense to where things that are free, like when I was in the Carribean, fruit's just naturally coming from the tree. Like no one should have to pay for food. Like it just grows free. No one had to plant that seed. An animal might have ate a piece of fruit, pooped it out, and now you got to treat it. Like these are things that are free, but they're more expensive than a cheeseburger. That's a problem.
That lifestyle is very attractive to me. Like not necessarily being an Amish, but like having a farm,
yeah,
and having like an apple tree, you know, and just living. Because then like, again, it's like a whole rabbit hole, and there's a lot that goes into it, but like, well, we've kind of already touched on it, just like the quality, like how the food from the grocery store gets there.
Yeah.
Like what that process is, and like what stuff is being added into it. And I have to be careful because that fucks with my mental. I'll be so paranoid and I just like can't enjoy life, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a balance to it.
And I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
The thing about plant-based, where a lot of plant-based people won't say, is that, like I said, I don't believe that everybody should be plant-based. And the only reason why I do advocate for it now is, yeah, it resonates with me, but also the quality. Like 1,000 years ago, you probably could have been eating meat and all that and still be healthy. But the quality now, run away from it. But like I said, 1,000 years ago, you probably would have been cool eating some chicken and some meat because it wasn't a business back then. Now it's a business. So what they put into it and how, like I said, how things are processed is way different. But a natural something just growing out in the wild, you would be cool. But just how things are now, where it's come to as far as food, for some people, plant-based is the best option, just based off quality of the product.
I think that's like the overarching thing is be like Cyrus. He went like just dabbling in certain things, pescatarian, vegetarian, try vegan for a little bit, but maybe you like the chicken and the red meat. So you want to do that carnivore diet. Like there's a ton of different stuff. And I feel like it's just about dabbling, seeing what fits for you.
Don't limit yourself. I'll say that.
Yes.
Don't put yourself in a box with anything when it comes to food, because a lot of people, like I said, praise plant-based, but like I said, it's not for everybody. A lot of people praise carnivore, but it's not for everybody. And you should be able to do all things. Not, like I said, don't ever limit yourself. Like a lot of people say when you go pimp, it's like you can only eat grass and all. It's like it's a million plants versus you only have 5 animals to choose from, and I have 1,000 plants. So like, what is really limiting myself? But it's perspective as well. So if you can incorporate everything, that would be the best thing instead of just, like I said, focusing on one, because you don't ever want to limit yourself.
So the reason you're sitting here today, more or less, is because I was on Instagram and I saw your story. Mm-hmm. You mentioned it was in the Caribbean, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
So talk about, first of all, how we go from where we've talked about your journey at. Mm-hmm. So like just left Harris Stowe. Mm-hmm. So talk about how we go from there to probably investing money into a retreat in the Caribbean. Let's talk about that first. Just like what went into that decision.
So the guy that runs the retreat, I've been following him on YouTube since I was at JUCO. So it's probably been like 2-3 years now. And he's been running the retreat for like 5 years, but I've just known about it for the last 2 to 3 years. So he like did tours of the land and all that. And I'm just like, that place is beautiful. Like the Caribbean is so nice. Like video doesn't even do it justice. Just being in that environment is just crazy. But whenever I saw the videos originally, I was like, I need to go there. Like I need to. Like someone was just like calling me there. Like it's just so nice there. Like so I've been wanting to go for like 2-3 years. And I tried to go last year, tried to go the year before that, but finances didn't work out. Dates were changed and all that. So it was just perfect timing for me to go that month. Well, last month. It just was perfect timing. But I've been wanting to go for the last 2-3 years. But everything happened for a reason. So I'm glad I did what I did. I was supposed to go when I went.
So talk about what the retreat is, what it's about, what you do. How long were you there?
I was there for 2 weeks, but the retreat is 7 days 7 nights, 8 days. But I stayed an extra week to like volunteer on the land.
Nice.
So it's in St. Lucia. St. Lucia is like I said, island in the Caribbean. It's like a few down from Jamaica, like one of the ones at the bottom right. It's very touristy. Like when I was on my plane right there, it was a lot of families, a lot of couples. So a lot of people don't get like the in the mountain experience like I did. So the retreat is like it's called Mount Kailash, and it's like they probably have like 15 or 20 acres of land. Like they grow their own food. They have a ton of herbs. Like the herbs that I sell, I buy from them, and like the sea moss I get, like I met the people that I get my product from essentially. So like they cook for you. They take you into town, show you different places. All the herbs, they give you like a herbal tour and all that. We did like a lot of self-wellness things. Like we did yoga and got up and did journaling and had heavy conversations about like what we want to do in our lives. So it's a wellness retreat truly all the way around, because like there are a lot of Rastas. Rastas are like the typical people they see smoking weed and with the locks and all that. But like I said, they're way off in the mountains. They're like nomads. Like I see them as monks, really. They're like self-sustainable. Like we really didn't need to go into town because everything was there. Like I said, they grow their own food. They get the electricity from solar panels. They collect rainwater. There's like 5 different springs. So like they truly could never go back into civilization and be fine. Like they don't need to go into town. Everything is right there because they've built it up and like I said, planted the seeds and all that. So it's putting yourself in that. And like I said, you will want to be in a farm. So that's like a place to go to see what do I need to do to get to that point. So like I said, when I was there for that extra week, I was helping them like weed things, work the soil, learn about different herbs, what else? Like I said, different plants and all that. So it was just like, I want to do this in my life, and this is giving me a blueprint type thing. But it's also like I said, for wellness. They give you detoxes. The guy that owns the mountain, he's a herbalist. So he has different herbal products and all that, and we took those as well. So it's like a business and pleasure type thing, really. So you're there for your wellness, but like I said, you work a lot on yourself and like where you want to be in life.
There's a video you posted, or maybe it was on the page that ran the retreat, but you guys were like pushing each other.
Oh yeah. It was an exercise, one of the yoga exercises, just to like get us warmed up type thing.
What was it? Looks interesting.
Pushing each other. We were like called a spaceship. It's one of the business a circle. Pushing each other. What did we do that day? Oh, was it the person behind them pushing them forward?
Yeah.
Oh, that was about trust. It was a trusting exercise. So we had our eyes closed and we just had to walk. And the person behind us guided us. And it's like the trust fall type thing. But like you just keep going. And if someone tilts you to the right, you go to the right. If they tilt you they stop you, stop. So it was like releasing control and just trusting the person or really trusting the process of where you're going in life and not really trying to control it. We did a lot of things like that to where, like I said, a lot of people, if me and you did exercise and you didn't really trust me and I tried to turn you right, you might have went left or you might have like stopped. So it was like, do you really trust me enough to guide you type thing? So that's what that exercise was about.
What was something that, because you said you'd been following the dude for 2-3 years, whatever it was there anything there that caught you by surprise? Maybe like, oh, that's kind of weird, or oh, I didn't know that like it covered, because you said like deep talks about like direction in life and stuff. Maybe it was something like, oh, wow, I didn't know that this was included. Was there anything that like surprised you or caught you off guard that they had you doing?
I'll say not really, because all the videos he had was like everything that we did was things that I knew we were going to do because of the videos previously. So no, not really. Only thing that really surprised me was just how amazing I felt being there. Like I felt like I had already been there, if that makes sense. And like just like, because there's people that live there on the land already, like the people that were cooking for us, cleaning up after us, and working the land, like connecting with them and all that. They were like, "You're not part of the retreat. Like I feel like you've been here this whole time." I'm like, I do too. Like, so that's probably the only thing that surprised me was how I connected with everything, and I feel like a different person out there, really.
So herbs is another word for plants.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
And so then you said there was like drinks and stuff, or what would they do?
Yeah, they're fermented. So you take I think how they do it is they take a herb and then they pound it. And the more you pound it, it like releases liquids and all that. So it's like just a bunch of pounded up herbs, and then they let it ferment for X amount of time. And then you drink it over the 7 days. So there's one for like circulation, your mind, your immune system. If you were a male, you got a male one specifically for like prostate and kidneys. And if you're a female, you got one for like uterus and womb. So every system in the body correlated to a drink, a fermented drink. And you drank that every day that we were there, 3 times a day. So yeah, like I said, it just full detoxification. Like they cook for you plant-based. So it was like a lot of people that went there. I think I was like one of like a few people that were actually plant-based, but everybody else was like trying to implement it. So like, and then you're getting different water. Like the spring water there is like way different. Like when I drink water here in America, it dehydrates me. Like the more I drink it, like now my mouth kind of dry because the water here is like dead water. It's not like flowing. It's on shelves for months. But out there is like straight from the source. So even the water, it wouldn't dehydrate me. It would actually like get me going and hydrate me. So everything there is just healing to you. And that's the main focus is healing you.
Water straight from the source, meaning like rainwater?
That, and there's like 5 springs on the mountain.
Which is what?
Natural water coming from the ground, underneath the ground, or just natural springs. And they have pipes to where like, if there's a spring right here, they'll put a pipe and it'll lead to like the shower, or it'll lead to the toilets, or like that's their whole system. They take from the natural source, and they do collect rainwater as well.
A pipe in the ground?
Yeah. Some are in the ground, and some are, like I said, if the water is coming, like running on the table, the pipe will be right here to catch it, and it'll take it somewhere else. But they do have some underground as well. And it's all, like I said, it's all free. Like I said, they do solar panels, so free electricity. They grow their own food. Like just being out there, like, what do you do when you don't have to pay for nothing? What do you do when your water's free, your food's free, your electricity's free? Like, what do you do then?
I've thought about that. I mentioned the Amish, or like there's this whole like niche of YouTube where it's like, I built a house in the forest in 30 days or whatever it is, in a week. And it's like, damn, like if you live there and like you said, electricity, water, all that is good, like you don't have to work.
And that is America, like just workers. Like we are in like we're hamsters just on a wheel. But if you don't have to work, what like honestly, for people watching, what would you do if you didn't have to pay for anything?
If money wasn't something you had to worry about
at all, like I said, food, no bills, no food bill, no electricity bill, what would you do? Like, what type of person would you be if you didn't have to work about, I gotta get up for work, I gotta do this and all that, I don't really like this job, I'm just trying to make some money? Like, what type of person would you be? So that's what I said. When I was there, I was just different. Like the air, they don't like no pesticides out there. Like I said, the water is different. The food is different because they grow it with love and no pesticides, herbicides. So it's like with that, like it will change you. Like there's no way that it doesn't change you. And even just being in nature, it's like the natural way of life. But hearing like the cicadas and the frogs at nighttime, just hearing that. Like here in America, it take me like 30 minutes to go to sleep because like I just don't be tired. But there, I was out just like that because the sound is just soothing. It does something to your nervous system. Like when you don't have to hear sirens and horns and TV, like all that is like so scrambling for the brain. When there's just silence or like nature, what does that do for you?
It probably takes you back to some like primal, like your DNA kind of remembers it type thing.
Exactly. And that's how I felt. Like I felt like a child out there. Like there was times where we went to like this cacao spot, and cacao is just chocolate. That's what they call it out there, cacao. And there's like this nice view of like the mountain, and everybody's buying their chocolate. And I'm just like staring out into the abyss, and then one of the ladies there, she was like, man, what are you thinking of? Like, you thinking about something so profound. I'm like, nothing. I'm not thinking about anything right now. Yes. I'm like only here right now. Like I said, with me being a Virgo and like how I can overthink, and I can literally think about like 3 things at one time. But there is just silence. Like I hear nothing up top. I'm just fully enjoying this moment. And that is a beautiful feeling that here in America, it's just too many things to balance here.
It's a lot
of distractions. Like there's no time for ourselves. We do like work, children, spouses, no time for self. But when you tap in with what you really want, it's amazing.
Even something as simple as like, so there'll be days where, so I wake up, do my routine, do my thing. And then there'll be days where, well, normally I read as part of my routine, but sometimes there'll be days where I have to drive somewhere kind of first thing in the morning. Some days when I do that, I have to, so let me backtrack. I stay off my phone 30 to at least an hour, like I do the same before I wake up or after I wake up.
Yeah.
So there'll be days where I do that, but then have to drive somewhere, whatever. And I'll be driving, and then I'll also do it where maybe there's like my first thing in the morning is a session. So I just have to check my phone, like confirm that they're good to go, whatever it is. So even just that, when I check my phone and I'm driving, it's like, damn, my brain is like moving a lot. Whereas when I don't, it's like, it's very calm, very still.
Man, sometimes I'll drive in silence, no music. Just
same. Oh, I drive exclusively without anything.
It's amazing.
Maybe a podcast, but
yeah, it's amazing. Like I said, and that's just your phone. Like you like you said, you still gotta go train somebody, all type of things. But yeah, that's just our phone. And some of us are just scrolling, doom scrolling, all that. Some as little as a phone can scramble you. Like, not that mention the job, the people you got to interact with, and all that. It's just too many distractions.
It's a lot of moving pieces, and that's kind of the appealing thing about like the farm life, or like having a ranch will be a part of my life at some point. Like, just calm. And then, so I had episode, I think it was episode 10, episode 11 maybe. I had my guy Max on here. He's a Muay Thai fighter.
Nice.
And he's got deployed to the army. So he's doing a year there right now in Europe somewhere. But we were talking about the phone,
Right.
and how we were talking about how both of us are like kind of, I mean, it's addictive, you know, nobody's perfect. We all scroll and stuff. And then, he brought up an interesting point. That's like, if I hadn't gone on my phone, I would be sitting outside and watching these birds, and I'd be like, damn, that's really interesting. And just that idea is so appealing to me, that lifestyle.
Yeah, because it's appealing because that's what we're supposed to be doing. Like, that's why I said some things you just know intuitively. You don't have to know. You just feel it. When I saw those videos, I'm like, I need to go there. Or like you said, the Amish or the farmer, like, so it's like, yeah, that's me. Like, because it's like, it's an eternal feeling that just like calls you like, this is the way. But we've been taken out of that for so long, and we get stuck in it. So the fact that you even resonate with stuff like that is good, that you're still connected to that, because some of us are so far in the phones, is like they don't even, like, I wouldn't do that. Some people wouldn't want to do that. They still want to be in the house and want to have the bitchy lifestyle because they're just that sucked up into it. So the fact that you're not is a good thing.
It's just so, I mean, I'm not perfect, you know, I've fallen into the traps or whatever. But when you were on the retreat, I know you were on your phone to post the stuff.
Yeah.
How much of your time was spent on the phone?
Like 5%.
Yeah.
In the mountains, no Wi-Fi, no nothing.
That's right.
I only got connection when I went into town. And that was like, we went into town like every other day. And it'd only be for like 2 hours. So what I was posting, I wasn't really going through in the moment. It was from days ago or earlier that day, because I was recording it, but I couldn't post it because I had no connection. So yeah, no phone, no distraction, nothing. So it's just yourself out there.
What, like, are there any practical lifestyle things that you've taken from there that you've applied to your life now?
Yes, I do. I journal now. I do lymphatic tapping now.
Is that this stuff?
Yes and no. That's more so for nervous system. Okay. But lymph is more so like on your chest and your neck where your lymph nodes are. But I do that too sometimes, the tapping and all that. But like I said, that's more nervous system. So I do that. Like I said, journaling. What else do I do now since I've been back? I work out way more now. I have a routine now. At first, I didn't have a routine, but out there, every day we get up at 6. We do the lymphatic stuff. Breath work. I do breath work now. Versus at first I just did meditation. Now I combine them. So it added to my arsenal of things. So like I said, there we got up at 6. We would do stretching, some type of movement, the lymphatic touching, yoga, and then we journal. So that's how I start my days now. And it's been way better. Like, I just feel a lot better.
Take me through the lymphatic stuff. You're like slapping your chest.
So what you do is you first off on your collarbone. So you just rub right here. And you pat a few times. And then you rub in circles. And then you do the same thing on this side. Rub back and forth a few times. Start patting. And you do circles. So the whole point of doing this, then we can't do it now, but you do like on the side of your neck, like I said, you rub up and down, pat, you do circles, then you do underneath your arms, your abdomen, and then behind your knees. So your lymphatic system is like the waste system of your body. But there's a caveat. Everything else in your body is automatic. Your digestion is automatic. Your liver going to do what it's going to do automatically. You don't have to breathe. Like everything is automatic except for your lymphatic system. So you have to stimulate it. So that could be a tap in, that could be working out, that could be rebounding, which is just jumping on a trampoline, sauna. So it's physical movement that does it.
So lymphatic, I think like blood flow, kind of, more or less. There's probably more that goes into it.
Yeah, but you have more lymph fluid than you have blood in your body. Like, so everything is just a smaller version of itself. You and all your trillion of cells are just small yous. They talk to each other, they piss, they poop, they eat, and all that. So where's that waste going after that you've eaten, they've processed it and all that? Your cells all do that. So what they do is they put it in your lymph nodes. Like some people that have like swollen lymph, like lumps on their neck or underneath their armpit, it's a swollen lymph node. So all those toxins, they need to go somewhere. So you poop them out, you piss them out, or you sweat them out. So that's what the lymph is. It's just waste.
And you release the waste by...
That's one way to stimulate it.
Rubbing, patting, circles.
Or you can, like I said, you do saunas, you can rebound, or you can work out. Those are the only ways to stimulate it. Because, like I said, it's not automatic, it's manual. Okay.
And take us through, so the difference between meditation and breath work. I know there's like box breathing and a couple different things you can do.
They're kind of the same. What I do is, it's like a guided meditation that they did on the retreat. So it's just, the one I do is like you breathe in and out a few times and then you hold your breath for a minute. Then you breathe a few times and you hold your breath for a minute and a half. And then you breathe in and out again. Do you do it for 2 minutes? That's just the one I do it. But you can do like alternate nose breathing. That's a way to do it. Or like, so you do box breathing. It's just, breathwork is a way to put you into a meditative state. So like when people do like psychedelics or like DMT or mushrooms or even weed, you don't have to do outside things to feel those effects. You can just breathe and you'll get a psychedelic effect. So what the breathwork does, it puts you in that meditative spot. So now I can meditate. If my mind was all over the place, let me do a breath work. Now I'm calm. Now I can meditate, because like the whole point of meditating is not to stop the thoughts, but to observe them. But a lot of people can't get into that meditation because they're so busy. So if you do the breath work, you'll automatically be halfway there, and then you do the meditation.
That's a major distinction or major key about meditation, is like, it's not to stop thinking. No. It's just observing it.
Yes.
Because I've had people tell me like, oh, I would meditate, or I've tried it, I'm just so bad at it. And I used to be like that. I used to be like, damn, I can't stop thinking. But now that I realize, it's like, well, there's really not a such thing as being bad at it. Mm-hmm. It's just about like watching the movie, quote unquote, of your thoughts. And then to me, meditation is like the action of bringing those thoughts back to the present moment, your breath, how your feet feel, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was going to ask you something, but then it left my mind. Oh, working out. Oh, my fault. Before that, when you're meditating, are you nose breathing, mouth breathing, combination?
I do nose.
All nose?
Yeah, because I can do it deeper. And then I do mudras as well. So, you know what mudras are?
No.
So, have you seen Avatar or Naruto? Have you seen Naruto?
Like
the anime?
An episode.
You know how they do the whole like
I've seen that.
Finger things, and then they do like a jutsu.
Okay.
There's a reason behind that, because so you have different energetic pathways in your body. And so what your fingers can do is just doing this can stimulate an energetic pathway in my body, or doing this can. So when you want to do different things, like I always start my meditations with this. This is so I can breathe deeper. And then, because like I said, you want to focus on the breath to get you into that meditative state. And then once I feel like I'm good on my breathing, I might do this. And that's more so for mental clarity. So the mudras are just to stimulate different things in your body.
And the idea is there's different energy, something in specific fingers.
Yeah, each finger is connected to a different organ. Now, what those organs are, I don't know. I just know the effects. So, like I said, this one is breathing. This one I do for mental. So this one might be connected to my brain because it's for mental. This one might be connected to my stomach or my lungs because it's for breathing. But yeah, everything is connected to something in your body.
Do you know what hostage tape is?
It sounds familiar.
It's a brand. There's an actual like hostage tape, but like there's a brand called hostage tape that you wear. It's what it sounds like. You wear it over your mouth.
Yeah, I know that.
When you
black,
sleep. Yeah.
I never understood why is that thing?
So the explanation I've heard is, so we've talked a lot about like primal kind of stuff, getting back to our roots, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So like the explanation I've heard is that like when our ancestors were like being chased by a tiger or something like that.
Right, yeah.
Your mouth breathing. And so that kind of like it stays in our DNA.
Yeah.
So then it's easier to like trigger your fight or flight type thing. I'm not an expert, but the idea is like nose breathing like makes you more calm and gets you in the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier to fall asleep.
Yep. That's why and then even how you breathe is important because a lot of people only breathe up here in their chest, but you're supposed to breathe with your stomach, the diaphragmatic, and that's how you get into the parasympathetic side of your nervous system. So just doing the nose breathing but focusing specifically on your stomach will push you into that. So, but if you're doing chest, it's like shallow breathing. Like I said, the type thing, that's all chest up here. That's so shallow. But we can go deep and like, if you can inhale for like 30 seconds versus 10 seconds, that is just way better for you.
I was watching this video. It was like about like meditating while you're walking kind of. And he was,
did you see the Asian guy whenever we were doing a walk that was walking behind with his hands behind his back?
No, but I've seen people do that.
That's
before.
what he was doing. That's their type. That's like an Asian type of walking meditation. They put their hands behind their back and they like look down, and that's a walking meditation that they do.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the hands behind the back like significant in some way, or does it just?
I don't know. That's just how they do it. But
yeah.
You meditate too? Well, I know you do, but when you ride in the car with their music, that's meditation.
So that's what like I used to be big, set aside time. 10, 20 minutes, whatever, close my eyes and breathe. But now it's at the point where, like I said, it's that muscle of like noticing thoughts and then bringing it back. So like you said, I just do that like in the car.
Yeah.
I'll just notice like, oh shit,
it doesn't have to be type thing.
Yeah.
You could be walking and meditating. You could be painting and meditating. It's not a lot of people, we focus on specifics and not the base. The base is your present. So like I said, I could be Steph Curry knocking down 100 threes. He probably don't got nothing on his mind but doing that. That's meditation. You're driving, no music or nothing. You just focus on the road. That's meditation. Or I could be sitting down and doing it. That's like, we just get caught in the specifics and not what the root is of it.
So glad you said that, bro. Like the idea of being fully present, and it kind of relates to like the flow state type of thing. I have a lot of thoughts on that, and I've talked to a couple of my guys about it. Like if you ask a sorry ass shooter that can't shoot, like what are you thinking about when you shoot? Oh, well, I put my elbow here and I get my feet at this certain degrees. And I know that like if I jump this high and like look at the rim this way, whatever it is, if you ask Steph Curry, what do you think about when you shoot? Just shoot the ball. I try to put it in the hoop. And it goes back to like, we were talking about the lymph nodes and how, so like when we eat food, our body digests it.
Yeah.
We don't have to consciously think about the food digesting. It just does it. So our body kind of has this like intelligence of its own. And so that's how I think about like shooting, for example, being externally focused if you're going to think anything, you just put the ball in the little orange circle thing. Because then your body is going to sort out how to accomplish that goal. What mechanics, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm so glad you brought that up.
I'm glad you brought that up. That's manifestation, really what you were talking about, but on a different scale. Like I said earlier, everything starts mental. Like I said, if I just think about putting that ball in the hole, it's gonna happen. If I think about if I meditate on wanting to be on a farm, it's gonna happen, because your body and brain, they don't know time. Time is a human thing. It's not a body thing. So if you envision that one day you're going to be on a farm, your body is going to do everything it can to put you on that farm. Because when you see it, it's as if it's happening right now. Because like I said, time is a human thing. Your body is like, oh, that's right now. So let's do what I need to do so I can just always be in that state. So I'm glad that you said that, because like I said, just envisioning it, the ball going in the hole, it'll do it, because it's all mental first.
A lot of like sports psychology people talk about the power of visualization, and even just like in life, manifestation and stuff. The idea that like your, I guess it's your brain. Like if you're visualizing something, it can't really tell the difference between if it actually happened or if it just, you know.
That's what or even just limitations. Like that's what with the flow state and being present, it's like we get in our own way with a lot of things. Like I said, if I vision it, everybody's gonna do what it can to do that. You don't gotta worry about I don't got enough money, I gotta go to work, I gotta pick up that's human stuff. Your body's like, we're gonna get it done. Like we don't know how it's gonna happen, but it's gonna happen type thing.
I like that. That's just human stuff.
Literally. When
you're like caught up overthinking about the matrix, oh, I got to do this, that's just human stuff, bro.
Yeah, we'll be straight. Yeah, or even like what you said with the fight or flight thing. Like a lot of times we get caught in the fight or flight. Like that's why, like it's called like rest and digest, and then you got the fight or flight. So like I said, in nature, if we were attacked by a lion, we'd be in fight or flight. But translate to now, we're not in the jungles no more. So it might be your job, it might be your children, it might be your spouse that'll like piss you off, and then you're in that fight or flight, even though that you didn't go through a traumatic experience. It still produced that reaction in your body, and we can sometimes be stuck in that and not in the rest and digest. So that's why stress is like the number one thing when it comes to health, is just stressing. Because that fight or flight, your body, like I said, it doesn't know time. So your body doesn't know the difference between being chased by a lion or an argument with a spouse. It's going to produce the same effect in your body, but it doesn't matter at all. So we have to watch that and control those things.
Take me through your workout. Is it same thing every day? Do we mix it up? Is it stuff you took from the retreat, stuff you took from your hooping background?
Yeah.
What is it?
So right now, I'm just now getting back into hooping, honestly.
Nice.
I took after I took myself off the hairstyle team, I didn't hoop for like a year at all. So right now it's more so like home workouts, like calisthenic type thing, ab workout, body weight, push-ups, pull-ups, stuff like that. But I'm getting back in the gym now. But I'm still trying to figure out more gyms to go to.
You should come. We be hooping outside up here.
I'll be seeing that.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing that. It's around here? Mm-hmm. Okay, bet. Yeah, I got to get more out there. Because it's like, I kind of miss hooping in a way, even though it was like easy for me to put it down, but it's more so of like, okay, I focused on my body and, well, as far as eating and mental, now I need to like get back into the working out to put it all together type thing. Because at first I was just one-sided. I was just eating, right, and I wasn't working out. Versus now, I'm putting it back together now type thing.
So every day it kind of depends? Are you lifting weights, yoga, running?
Oh, okay, so every day it's body squats. Well, after I do my yoga, my breath work, my lymphatic system, pads, meditation, all that, then I'll hop right into body weight squats, ab workout, push-ups, and I'll do like a circuit of that. And then after that, I'll walk to the park, I do my grounding, and I walk back. So that's my workout right now.
And that's like more or less first thing in the morning, like how you start your day?
Whatever time I get up, that's when I'm doing it, yeah.
Nice. So you get barefoot in grass.
Yeah, and even I'll walk barefoot to the park sometimes too. I just feel natural. It's like, it just feels natural sometimes.
On the
concrete. Yeah.
That's a rabbit hole I've been down, is shoes.
I got barefoot shoes.
Same.
Oh, I didn't even peep. Yeah.
No, I didn't peep yours either.
Oh, no, these aren't, but I typically wear them. These
gotcha.
are Uggs. But not typically I wear barefoot shoes, or I just I'll walk barefoot to the park.
We've been down a lot of the same rabbit hole kind of things. Health, wellness, lifestyle stuff. Barefoot shoes, meditating, stuff we eat. I've wondered how do you think your hooping career would be different if you had those tools in your arsenal from Whitfield freshman year, from day one?
I would have handled situations a lot better, but I would have been a better player. Cause like I said, even when I was in JUCO and I was just adding a little bit of things like the herbs and the sea moss and all that, and I wasn't fully plant-based, I saw a change like that. I wasn't getting tired. When I bended down, my knees weren't like aching from like growing pains and stuff like that. So just the little things I was doing, I saw a big difference. So if I was putting everything together, I'd be overseas right now or something. Like
be in the league.
Yeah, but it's just, but you gotta learn all those things. Like I wish I would have had all those things, but if I didn't go through all those things, I wouldn't have it now type things. So that's why that's why I am so serious about what I'm doing, is like, cause I want like my children's children to already have that. Cause I feel like, I know that we aren't born with this knowledge. We have to we got to go through something. Somebody got to die in your family to know to eat the right things, or you got to get cancer to be like, okay, let me get on my stuff. But if we were born with all this knowledge and grounding and meditation, all that, we'd be a different human. Like sometimes, a lot of times, really, I'll put myself in the mindset of what did a human think 10,000 years ago? Because I know they wasn't thinking like this. There were no jobs back then. There was no Netflix, no phones. What were they thinking? What were they acting like? And sometimes I'll just put myself in that mind state and be like, that's how I want to act. Because the modern man is not what I don't want to be like modern man.
There wasn't a Drake and Kendrick beef. There wasn't any of that. That is cool to think about. Again, simplicity. It's probably a more simple, calm mind, not having to worry about all that.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that as you were learning all this stuff, you started to help out teammates, kind of put them on game.
Yeah.
Take me through that process, because this stuff, it's not like hoops and hip hop is very intertwined.
Right.
Hoops, meditation, a little bit. It's kind of getting more commonplace.
Yeah.
Even veganism a little bit. But there's also some stuff that isn't directly related.
Yeah.
So was there any resistance to getting people to adapt some things? What was that process like?
So, like I said, I was in Arkansas, so my JUCO. I was just telling my teammates, my coach, it was like, man, you gonna die without me. You gonna be this and that and weak and all that. I'm like, no, bro. This is how we supposed to be doing it. Take CMOS, they got different minerals. I'm like, bro, you see how I be? I don't get tired. You can do the same thing. But they was like, nah, you tripping. Because it was, like I said, it wasn't that popular at the time. And then we only know what we've been told. So me explaining these things to them is no, there's no way you can be strong or healthy off of just eating plants. We're gonna get your protein. I heard that so many times, protein. I'm like, bro, what is protein? When people ask me, I'm like, what is protein? They can't even tell me, because we just say what we've been told. So anything that goes against that, it's automatic. No. Even if you don't even know what it is, it's going to automatic. If it goes against the status quo, it's automatically no, that's not possible. So it was a lot of that. But then I had a few people that was like, let me just try it. Cause like I said, I was making sea moss for them. I was like telling them where I get it from. And I was like, oh, I feel good. I'm like, thank you. Like, just try the things. Like like I said, the pushback was a lot at first. But when some of my teammates like tried it out, they saw the difference for sure. And everybody didn't try it out. Only like a few people did. But the people that did, they saw results. Yeah.
It's kind of that, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it or whatever. I'm pretty sure that's the quote.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a similar way with the stuff I've learned. Training, skill acquisition stuff, even just kind of similar. Spiritual stuff, whatever. It's very easy to like feel, for me, it was super easy to feel like, oh, this is the way everybody should be doing it. But then it's kind of like, well, it just doesn't resonate for this person.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just not their path. So that kind of leads me to what you're doing now, because you're in this realm of helping people. So talk about what you're doing now. So
really is word of mouth right now, or like on Instagram. So I do cold press for juices. I'm really excited for summertime because then it'll be watermelon season. So I'll have my watermelon, strawberry, lemon juice at that point in time. But right now, I got like a cucumber juice, a beet juice, and like a pineapple orange juice. So each juice has like its own benefits to it. And then I do sea moss. It's like a sea algae. It's very high in vitamins and minerals. It's good for like bone health, immune system, increasing libido, just a plethora of things. And then the herbs as well. So I sell those, and then in combination with my other job. But if I could do that full time, I would much rather do that. Like I could sit down and have like a 2-hour long conversation with somebody about health. Like I just genuinely like that. It's weird because I never was into stuff like this. But just like telling somebody like, yeah, you can, like, you could be stronger, you could be more healthy, like, and telling them things. And even when people come to me with like ailments and all that, and they asking me what they should do, like I enjoy telling people that, because I want in myself what I want in other people. So that's why I do it, really.
So sea moss, herbs, and the cold pressed juices.
Yeah.
Where are you getting all of the stuff from, and how do you make it?
So the herbs and the sea moss come from St. Lucia, from the people that I met on the retreat.
So that's the real deal.
Real deal. Like I see it right in front of me, like it's growing right there type thing. And I saw they process it and all that. So yeah, it's real deal. So that's the sea moss and the herbs side. But the vegetables, I like going to Soulard Market. You go to Soulard?
Yeah.
I love going there. So especially when it's summertime and all that, I rack up at Soulard. So yeah, I just get the fruit from Soulard or the grocery store, and then I have a juicer and I just put it in juice, and it's nothing but fruit. None of that. No additives, no preservatives, no sugar, no extra sugar, only from the fruit, and that's it.
The real deal, straight from the Carribean.
Yeah.
Straight from Soulard Market.
Yeah.
Hand pressed.
I got a Nama J2, so it does it automatically. I just put it in and I just let it do its thing.
Heard you.
And it takes forever because it just takes a long time to juice, but it's worth it. And just hearing people's feedback and all that about the juices, like I'll hand them out at my job and all that. They be like, yeah, I had all this energy and all that. I just like hearing stuff like that. It makes me feel good to see people feel good,
And so right now it's all word of mouth.
Yeah, people keep telling me to start my online business, which I am, and I need to stop trying to make it perfect and just do it type thing. So I'm learning that now, to just do things and not, because I'll sit on ideas for like 6 months before I do it. I'll write it down, I'll think about it, like, okay, I want like this. I'm like, okay, after 6 months, okay, I'm ready now. But you're never truly ready. So I'm learning that now, to just do it. Start the online thing, because if anything, I could make more money like that. So it's like, I say I want to make more money doing it, but then if I didn't start the business online yet, so that would be a way to make more money. So it's like, just do it.
Yes.
So
you know who Rick Rubin is?
Yes.
He has a book called the creative. I forget the name of it, but there's a chapter in there that talks about like sharing your creativity or sharing your product, whatever it is, with the world, and how it's like a river kind of. So like you have an idea, something that you want to get out to the world, but then kind of to what you're saying, you want to like perfect it and make sure everything's good, and you're sitting on it for a minute. It's like a dam in the water. It stops the flow of it. But then once you release it, and it may or may not be perfect, then like more ideas start flowing.
Yeah.
I found that to be true with like content that I'm posting. It's like, oh, I have to make this perfect.
Yeah.
And sit on it. But then once I post it, like new ideas come, and it's like, oh, that's 10 times better than this idea. Just kind of keep stacking.
Yeah. Ever since I've been back, I've just been on some action type thing versus, as I said, being in St. Louis and all that for those 2 weeks, it really changed me, like truly. And so like I knew when I came back, I'm like, I got to keep this same energy. I can't go back to, Cyrus, the overthinker, the procrastinator, the perfectionist. I just got to do it because I'm in that energy right now, and I need to keep that with me at all times because I like that Cyrus. I don't like the overthinker Cyrus. I like the present in the moment, having fun Cyrus. So let's keep that Cyrus around.
Hell yeah. I'm here for it, bro. I had a homie in college say that he like never thinks twice about spending money on experiences. And this is living proof. Like the fact that you invested time and money for this. Think about like the timetable or the timeline that this puts you on.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty crazy. So you mentioned books.
Yeah.
The health stuff. Give me, let's go top 5.
Can I add in spirituality too with health?
So that's what I'm going with it is like top 5. It could be like health. I would almost prefer do what you want, but top 5 books. It could be health and wellness, spiritual, whatever it is.
Okay. I'll say they're on different degrees. Like I know different books are like for different levels of people. But I definitely say the 4 Agreements. That's one of them.
That's a good one.
Let's do a health book. It's called African Holistic Health. That's all. It's spirituality as well, but it's geared more so on the herbs. Phytochemistry. It's a plant. It's a herbal book. It's phytochemistry something. Phytochemistry herbs or something like that, or encyclopedia of herbs. So that. What else? The Alchemist was good as well. I like The Alchemist. The Kabbalion. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's like 7 laws, the 7 Hermetic laws.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's top 5 right now. But I got more, but I haven't finished. I'm a person that like reads 5 books at one time. So I gotta say the ones I've read.
Heard you. So I think we went full circle. We went from from Whitfield actually.
Yeah.
To where you are now.
Yeah.
Where you're headed. So I think that's a good place to wrap it up. We're going to finish off with, so 1, people like to give shout outs. Any shout outs you want to give, family, friends, whatever it is. Any last message that you want to leave the people, have them remember you by or whatever. So shout outs, any last message, and then where people can find you. You're at on Instagram, YouTube, whatever you do.
Okay. Can I look at the camera?
Sure.
All right. Well, shout out to Akeem Pierre. That's the person that runs the thing in St. Lucia. So without him, I wouldn't have been able to experience being on the mountain. I would like to shout out my mom, my grandmother. Their support is very much needed. I would like to shout out my grandfather as well that passed, because if he hadn't passed, I would have still been that old Cyrus, and I wouldn't have been plant-based, and I wouldn't have changed. So he blessed me even in his transition. You can find me on Instagram, CY Juice, Twitter, CY Juice as well. And then the last parting words. I would say don't limit yourself. My favorite quote is the one that's like, my biggest fear is not that we are inadequate, but that we are powerful beyond measure. And that, when I first heard that, it was like tears to my eyes. Like, because just growing up, like I said, even with hooping or just with anything in general, I've limited myself a lot, put other people before me. But when you know who you are and you know how powerful you are, it's just a different type of energy you present in yourself, and then you reflect that in the world, and then you'll find other people that are on the same thing. So never limit yourself, and you can't make a mistake. You cannot. When you learn certain information about things, well, I'll say like this: whenever you go through things, don't label it. Don't label it as good or bad. Just let it happen. Give it a week, give it a day, give it a month, and then revisit the situation, because it could have been a blessing in disguise. Don't be quick to label things that you go through, because it happened for a reason. Trust me. But yeah, that's all I got to say.
Well said, brother.
Give thanks.
Give thanks. Give gratitude. Thank for you coming on here.
I appreciate you as
Pleasure.
well.
Yes, sir.
First time doing something like this. It's nice.
Yeah. Some people get a little nervous talking into the mic, you know. Mm. You handled yourself very well.
Yeah. Being a Vashon, you always in front of the camera, so always.
I got Tom Ball's life at every game and
following you around, so I'm used to it.
Type. Well, that was episode number 14 in the books. We out.